Hey everyone, it's Jenny at JC Cards. Today I'm going to be sharing a video that features how I made this card. It's made with goodies from the Tonics Studios July 2021 craft kit, and I'm going to give you a look at what comes in this month's kit, which I was lucky enough to be sent by Tonic, and they asked me if I enjoyed it, would I share a video using the kit on my channel. So that's what you're going to be seeing here today. This is a super fun card, interactive, quite a lot of effort, but I think you'll agree it's worth it in the end. And I wanted to give you a look at the goodies in this month's kit. If you're not interested in seeing an unboxing, you can skip ahead to about the 2.5 minute mark where I'll start the card creation. So starting off, you get a full-size Tonics tacky glue, which is good liquid glue. It's got a somewhat fine tip. It's good for getting in smaller places. You get a set of cards and envelopes, which are sort of an off-white ivory colour. You get this new Nuvo chalk mousse. This is in iced plum. I'm not going to be using this on my card today, but I'm definitely going to be using it in a future card. I love those Nuvo mousses. They're great for blending and stenciling and all sorts of other things. You get a coordinating hybrid ink cube, and then Nuvo drops. I love my Nuvo drops. This one is in pale gold. I do use it on today's card, and you get this really nice pearly sheen with this gold one. This embossing powder I'm also going to be using. This is another really pretty sort of pearlescent, soft lilac, I think is the colour. Really pretty once it's heat embossed. And then this bright violet glitter, super pretty. I'm not using it on my card today, but it's definitely one for future use. I love that purple colour. Now in every Tonic craft kit you always get a bunch of dies. This has also got a small stamp set in it that I'm going to be using on today's card. I won't give you a look right now because you'll see as I walk through the card all the dies that are in the set, but it does come with instructions, a double-sided sheet of instructions. I also recommend, if you use my video, I pretty much walk you through step by step the creation of the card that those dies are in the kit to create. And then my favourite bit of any Tonic craft kit is always the papers. The papers from Tonic are just not like anything else. The dry embossed kind of look, the handmade paper look, the iridescent look, and of course my absolute favourite has been their holographic cardstock. This one, included in this month's kit, has this really pretty kind of purple tint. I'm not going to use it on my card today, but I mean, there's just so many things in this craft kit that I'm like, oh, I want to use that, I want to use that, I want to use that. But I thought maybe the most useful for you guys was to see how to put this card together. It's a really fun pop-up card, but it's a little complicated, so I'm going to show you how to create it. So first off, using this weird looking die, it looks like a boat propeller or something, you want to die cut that twice. I'm using white cardstock for almost all my die cutting today. And on one of them, there's these strange little flaps that have like a little keyhole almost cut out of them, one for each side. They easily line up, and then you just want to die cut on one of them, those slits. And you can run it through your die cutting machine in one go if you like. I did it one after the other, but it works both ways. So you've got two of them, one with the slits cut in. Then the largest rectangle die in the set, you want to cut 4 rectangles from it. This is because you get that like beveled look when you die cut with a rectangle die, and we're going to adhere them sort of face to face twice, so you end up with 2 rectangles, but they're double-sided. This strange looking die actually creates the spine of your card. So you'll see it's got a score line down the middle. It's actually got 2 score lines, and we're just going to fold it on each of those score lines. You can use a bone fold if you want a sharp crease, and you'll see that once you've folded on both sides, you get this almost kind of book spine type look. And I do use my bone folder just to make sure that that crease is nice and sharp. And here's a quick look at it. I'm going to add some really strong adhesive. This is a really thin double-sided tape that I have in my stash. It's not in the kit. And I recommend for a couple of places using the tape over the liquid glue because it's got that extra strong adhesive that you need to keep this card staying together. And then I'm going to add that thin tape on both sides of that spine, and then slip my first rectangle in, lining it up top and bottom with that spine, flip it round, line up the other, and then you'll see that you create this almost like outer sort of book jacket almost for your card. Just push it down. You can use a bone folder to kind of rub it down if you need to, and there you go. This is the start of the card. £80 Nina Solar white cardstock for most of my pieces today that are white. I wanted to do it in white because I wasn't sure of the colour combo at this stage that I was going to use, and it's non-textured, it's good for embossing, and I wanted to emboss one of these sentiments. So this rectangle die that has the 2 slits cut out of the top, you want 2 of those, and on one of them that's going to form that kind of bottom of your card that has your sentiment on it. So I'm going to stamp this "You Are the Best" and heat emboss it. So I'm stamping it in embossing ink, which I've treated the cardstock with my powder bag off camera so I don't get any static cling. And then I'm just going to heat emboss that soft lilac embossing powder included in the kit, and you get this gorgeous pearly shimmery look. It does take a little pre-planning this card to make sure that you get your heat embossing and your sentiments on all the right places, but once you make it once, follow this video step by step, you should get the general idea. So I'm going for a sort of pearly gold and pale kind of lilac colour combo with white on my card today. This really pretty and intricate die I've die cut twice. It's going to be the border outline for both panels on the inside of my card. I've cut it from that really nice kind of textured cardstock that came in the kit. I've also cut this tab die twice from gold cardstock and twice from that lilac cardstock, and you'll see that it has these inserts that you can add inside that tab strip if you want to add a little bit more interest. And then I've die cut 2 of this curved die, that's for inside. I'm going to adhere those back to back like I did with those panels, just to make sure that everything's finished nicely. I've cut some intricate scrolls for the book edging, and also double layered purple and the gold cardstock, these interesting little dies. These are all embellishment dies. You can keep them solid, you could add the scroll work inside, it's entirely up to you. It's really customizable. And then you have these oval dies with scroll work that you can add a couple of different types of sentiments inside. You can add a plain oval behind it so that it stands out. I've die cut the Just For You from that purple cardstock. I'm going to back it onto a Nina Solar white oval and then onto that gold oval. Now, this is the most important part of the card making, I think, is taking those strange dies and then using the tabs, add liquid glue or double-sided tape to each of those tabs and then slip them underneath each other. And what you'll find is when you've attached them, the piece of card will want to bend, and you want to push it down on the inside like I'm doing here, and those 2 pieces on the outside will start folding in towards each other. So go with that because that's what you want, and then get it completely folded flat and add double-sided adhesive to both sides. And then I'm just going to slip that folded piece into the spine and then push down the panel, and that will fold it down flat and make sure that it's all aligned. You'll see I've attached it down into the center, and then as I lift up that card, it pops up. Now it's time to put all of our pieces together, and you can pause this video anytime. If I'm going too fast, you can just pause the video, rewind it. That's the beauty of YouTube, just to see what I've done and see how I do it. But any questions, leave them in the comments box below and I'll do my very best to answer them. I'm going to adhere this first piece with liquid glue, and you'll see I layered it with some thin foam squares just for a little bit of interest and dimension. And then I'm going to flip it over, and you'll see I added those scroll work pieces on the back as well, just to make sure it all looks finished, and I added another piece of the gold on the back. Now, to fit these panels that have those little notches cut out of them, I'm going to add some dry adhesive onto the back. And then to fit them, you can just hook in parts of that pop-up. It's really easy, it sounds complicated, and then just push in. And then all it takes is for you to just align it so that you have a thin border all around the outside. Do the same on both sides, and that's the inside of your card. Those pop-up pieces, you'll see now what those little slits are for. You're going to pop in that Just For You into the center, and it just hooks in. It has these little edges to make sure it doesn't fully slide off. You just hook them in, wiggle it around a little bit, and because we doubled it up, it's pretty sturdy, and it just folds in and out. Occasionally it might shift off to the side. That's okay. I think the recipient won't mind that too much. And doesn't that look cool? I'm so pleased with how I very rarely make interactive cards, and I just think this is really, really cool. So I'm going to add this scrollwork die cut on both sides. There's another alternative version in the set as well that you can choose from. And then to make that band, so you recall that we die cut the gold and the purple. I'm going to layer those on top of each other with some of the liquid glue first off, and then I'm just going to add some extra strong double-sided adhesive on each of the ends of those tabs. Those tabs are double scored, so you want to fold both of the score lines, and that gives you enough depth to wrap entirely around the card. So this is kind of creating a sort of band that goes around the card. It keeps it closed for the recipient, and then they can just slide it off when they open it. And I found that it was easier to wrap the first half around one, then wrap the second one around. So you're lining up the tab with the back, and then pinch it in place, maybe just to make sure that it's fully secure, and then you can slide it on and off. I thought for a little bit of fun, I would add some of those Nuvo drops just onto the centers of that little piece that sticks off the spine, and then keep it flat and leave it to dry, and it provides this nice kind of stopper for that band, but you can still slide it over the top. And that finishes my card. Here's a more close-up looks. I hope you enjoyed, and this gave you some ideas for using this month's Tonic craft kit. If you don't already, I'd love it if you'd consider subscribing to my channel. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know what you like. Would you like to see more interactive cards on my channel? I don't make them very often, and maybe I should change that. Anyway, love to hear what you think, and thank you so much to Tonic for sending me this month's kit to play with. I had a ball, and I hope to have you visit my channel again soon. Bye.